Yo, Black Clover just showcased one of the most strongest power-ups, one of the most elegant power-ups, and just in general, like, a lot of themes in this chapter, right? Like a mother protecting her daughter type of vibe. Like, there was a lot to this chapter of Black Clover, aside from just the badassery of, like, yo, Vanica and Noelle stepping up to the plate and getting the backstory of how Noelle got to this point of strength. And I'm kind of glad also that Tabata added more than what we previously thought was going to be with Noelle. And yo, I'm just happy because, again, I said it last week, I'll say it this week, this fight is one of the most exciting ones for me, because in the first, part of this arc, when Noelle versus Vanica part 1 went down, every week, I ain't gonna lie, I was going crazy, like, that's my bitch Vanica, oh my god. And yo, Noelle's doing her thing too. I know I'm very, very biased, I know, but fam, part 2 to this battle is here, and not only, of course, Vanica's there, super powered up, very, very excited about this. Noelle's power-ups, her new mode, we've got to talk about it, people. Without further ado, let's talk a little bit of that Black Clover greatness. Holy hell, I'm hyped to talk about this. Let's do it.
No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Okay, people, so for starters, holy cow, there was 19 pages for this chapter. Black Clover stepping it up. Yuki Tabata was like, yeah, we've been slacking a little with those 15 pagers. Let's drop 19 pages of straight raw content, straight raw explanations of how things are going down, and just in general some action too. And I was like, yeah, fam, let's do it. And before we even get into any of that, holy cow, that colored cover page of all of them, I ain't gonna lie, it straight up gave me Katekyo Hitman Reborn vibes. Like, it looked like these are the Vongola, and I was just like, holy shit. Now, if you don't know about Katekyo Hitman Reborn, you may want to check it out. It's really dope Shonen Jump series that ran, and I want to say it ended like 10 years ago, but it was awesome. It might be up your alley, but just that swag sauce was just dripping all over the place. Asta looking like a boss. Like, what is going on? And then we jump into the chapter where we left off, Noelle attacking Vanica, and Vanica, fam, sometimes I just really love those like female Zaraki Kenpachi that is just loving fighting. Like, that's it. Like, I love fighting. Like, I don't know what it is about Shonen Jump making these crazed women that are really just violent and want to fight this last couple weeks in Jump. But here we are with Vanica like, yo, Noelle, please tell me you got stronger so I can enjoy our little play date. And I'm like, Vanica greatness. And of course, Noelle declares, I'm going to take you down now. And it seems as though Undine is under her like usage. Like, Noelle is using Undine in combination, which is crazy because that was Lord of Pachika's spirit. So what the hell is going on? And then we cut to a flashback, which was a good chunk of the chapter for the most part, giving the explanation. Now, I want to stress this. I really like that this was in there. And I really like that if we're going to see Undine working with Noelle in unison and whatnot, that we got this. But also the fact that when we very first heard, like, we got that little setup of, oh, the elves are gonna teach, Noelle ultimate magic and things like that. I was like, that's dope, but it did feel like a one-off convenient thing of like, oh, okay, she's going to the elves and they're gonna teach her a trick that's going to magically make her stronger than ever. But with that in combination with Undine, I'll rock with that. That makes more sense, and that actually is really good. Like, I've said it already a couple times since the end of the anime. Tabata's just like, no, I'm gonna show you I am a great writer in all regards. But in the beginning of the flashback, Undine, I want to say it was either Undine or the other spirit, says, yo, before you learn ultimate magic, there's another power that you need to acquire. Because apparently after the battle that they just had with Undine and, Lord of Pachika versus Vanica, because of what went down of Vanica taking Lord of Pachika, the contract that they had kind of got null and void, basically. Undine had no choice but to jump into the grimoire, into the control of another strong mage, and she chose Noelle. So all along since that last bout, Noelle has had Undine and a contract with Undine all this time. And they were also emphasizing in this one that basically Noelle has what it takes to be the water spirit host. Because again, you got to think, like, that's a title that's very special to somebody that is strong and formidable or whatnot. Well, what's going on with Noelle? How did she get it? So the fact that they're adding extra things like that, like, they were even kind of coaching her, like, no, you got what it takes, you're strong as hell, you can do it. It kind of makes, again, more sense. Like, a lot of the logic behind Noelle being able to wield the power of Undine, it needed a little bit of backstory or a little bit of, know, context behind it and around. And then it said that in order to take down this Magicula-powered Vanica, Noelle is going to need to be able to tap into the Saint stage. And I ain't gonna lie, every time I heard that, I was like, Saint Seiya! Una shi no mi no. I don't know how many people can get a Saint Seiya reference, but if you can, I love you to death, man. Saint Seiya's that shit. And honestly, even thinking about it, Noelle's armor and all that, and even calling it Saint Stage, like maybe it is an homage to Saint Seiya. I don't know. And we even get more backstory with Undine of how when she first came to the kingdom, she met the first queen of the Heart Kingdom, and they hit it off. And ever since then, she was basically protecting the Heart Kingdom, and kind of one thing led to another with her running into Lord Pechica, and ultimately how she came to be protecting Lord Pechica. Because let's not forget, Lord Pechica was kind of clumsy. She wasn't queen-like by any means when we met her. It was just kind of like, why is this little girl being thrusted into this role that she has almost no business being a part of? And it kind of even broke it down further that Lord Pechica, a sweet and innocent girl that she is, but she really wasn't the most talented or anything like that. It was just kind of like, you know, she was a successor to take this role over, and she's a great, good-hearted person, and you need somebody like that to have a good ruler, somebody that actually cares about people and shit like that. But in terms of being like a talented, you know, competent when it comes to a lot of things, she kind of really wasn't. And then she was also even more smothered and sheltered by Undine, because she couldn't even learn any spells. I think the only thing she knew how to do was like make some dolls or something like that. But fam, you're the queen of the Heart Kingdom and you can't even do that. There's a problem. And then on top of that, Undine, which you could argue a little bit selfish and silly, kept the Saint Stage idea away from her in general. She kept it a secret basically, which if Lord Pechica knew that, maybe she could have had that power. But I understand to a certain degree. Basically, the idea behind all of this is that Undine was an overprotective mom, and it kind of backfired. Like, she was very overprotective to the point that she wanted Lord Pechica to stay that innocent little girl that she met all those years ago at all costs. Like, I'm not going to teach her nothing. I want to protect her. But when Vanica and them came through, and then eventually Lord Pechica got cursed and shit like that, again, it's being overprotective sometimes will backfire, and it can cause trouble in the long run. Following Undine basically saying to herself, nah, it was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. You know, I kind of messed up in that regard. Noelle gave the, you know, shonen speech like, hey, you know, being kind isn't a bad thing, you weren't wrong at all. Yeah, like being a mother and wanting to protect your child, which again, obviously she's not her mother, but she played the motherly role to Lord Pechica. I totally get it. Like, you want to protect your child by all costs, and sometimes like you feel like, man, I just want my kid to stay innocent like that no matter what. But like, I kind of disagree with Noelle saying you didn't do. No, kind of should have been just a little bit stronger about things and taught her a little more and been a little harder. Maybe she wouldn't be so easily, you know, to succumb to being defeated by Vanica. Because we come back to present time and Vanica is still controlling Lord Pechica, and I ain't gonna lie, it was, I don't want to say heartbreaking, but I did feel a little something there, I don't know what, where you see Lord Pechica is basically being controlled by Vanica, and she has tears in her eyes, but she can't stop it because she's basically stricken down, and you know, she has no free will at this particular point because Lord Pechica is controlling her. And I love how Vanica's there like, yeah, come on, show me a good time, Noelle, as this girl, you know, Lord Pechica's crying there like, what a heartless piece of shit. Like, you know, as much as I love Vanica, her time is coming. Her ass whipping is almost here, and she deserves it. As much as I rock with her and shit, yeah, you're a little too on the evil side, fam. Like, Lord Pechica's crying over there. Do you have any no, she doesn't have a conscience. But then Noelle goes on a little bit of a rant and calls Vanica an idiot, and I'm like, well, okay, that's kind of what we need. Honestly, if Lord Pechica had that moxie to just call her an idiot and go in, again, we wouldn't be in these circumstances, possibly. And fam, Noelle's new transformation, the Spirit Dive Saint Valkyrie armor, and she says, I'm going to destroy you, and oh my god, the art and the design. Again, I gotta stress that it feels a little bit inspired by Saint Seiya. I've always felt like Noelle's armors and stuff gave me a little bit of a Saint Seiya vibe. It looked awesome, it looked epic, and the big setup to come of Vanica at full power with Magicula versus Noelle and her new Spirit Dive Valkyrie armor. This is gonna be hype. But I'm very curious what you guys think. For starters, how do you feel and what is your stance on Undine's overprotective nature and what it did to Lord Pechica? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are you hype about Noelle's new power? Because don't forget, not only she also has that, she got ultimate magic as well. So a lot of shit like, yo, you about to have a lot of fun, Vanica, and I don't think you're gonna like it after a while. And your overall thoughts and expectations of Black Clover with chapter 296 and beyond. Shit is getting real. It got real. It's about to get hectic. And my poor Vanica, you're about to go through it, girl. And I hate to say it, but you deserve it. See, that's the tough love that you're supposed to give somebody. That's tough love. I'm sorry, Vanica. You need to get your ass whipped. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in, and Noelle's new Spirit Dive mode versus Vanica Magicula mode. Let's frickin' go! I am very hyped for this fight. Have an awesome day.
So just go to